going on, everyone? My name is Jamon McKinney, or you could just call me Juice, because that is my nickname. I am very fascinated by the Memphis Grizzlies. You know, this is a team that actually could be a playoff team this year. They're a team that I believe is on the rise, and I want to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies today. You know, I've been very impressed by Ja Morant, the former number 2 overall pick. He is a rookie, but he's a pretty darn good NBA player despite being a rookie, okay? I believe Ja Morant has all the potential in the world. I believe one day Ja Morant is going to be an NBA superstar. You know, I consider players like Rudy Gobert as all-stars, you know, guys that are very good players that make all-star teams, but are not good enough to be the best player on a championship team. I look at guys like Paul George and Kyrie Irving as star players. You know, Kyrie Irving and Paul George, to me, can be capable number 1 options that can get you to the playoffs and win you some playoff games and maybe some playoff series. But I think Kyrie Irving and Paul George are the perfect number 2s. So that's how I feel about NBA stars. Now an NBA superstar to me is Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, the cream of the crop of the NBA. Roughly the 8 to 9 best players in the world. I believe Ja Morant can reach that status. I believe Ja Morant can be a top 10 player in the NBA. He's well on his way. He maybe one day could be a top 5 player in basketball. The thing that I like most about Ja Morant is I believe he has that killer instinct. He has that dog mentality in his DNA. He is fearless. There's no point guard and no team and no individual that Ja Morant is not afraid to go up against. He is willing to defend the best point guard on the opposing team. He's willing to take the big shots. There's a lot to like about Ja Morant. The guy is 6'3", 175 pounds. This year, he's averaging 17.6 points per game. He's giving you 3.5 rebounds, about 7 assists, and he's shooting 49% from the field, which is very impressive. I would like to see Ja Morant get better as a shooter. I would like to see him improve his in-between game. But guys, keep in mind, this guy Ja Morant is only 20 years old. He's going to get better and better as time goes on. Once Ja Morant hits his actual peak and his true prime years, once he gets to about 26 years old, from about age 26 to age about 32 or 33, we're going to really see how serious and how good Ja Morant can be. And listen, Ja Morant was a better player his rookie season than Russell Westbrook was, than Kawhi Leonard was, than Giannis Antetokounmpo was. Those guys were sort of late bloomers to a certain degree, especially Giannis and especially Kawhi Leonard. Now, will Ja Morant ever win an MVP? Personally, I don't know about that, because the MVP is sort of a media and narrative-driven award, even though it does usually go to the top 5 players, the best players in the game. You know, you have to kind of be it's sort of a popularity contest. Let's be real, guys. The MVP is not always going to go to the best player, but I won't be shocked if Ja Morant wins the MVP before his career is over. I like Ja Morant a lot. I think he has a lot of potential. But let's also talk about a guy on this team named Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. was a guy that in the 2018 NBA draft, I felt he had the highest floor. And I didn't think he had the highest ceiling. But like I said, he had the highest floor. Meaning, I just felt he was going to be a good, solid player regardless of where he went. And Jaren Jackson Jr. has a lot of potential as well. He's 20 years old, like Ja Morant too. He's 6'11", got 7'4" wingspan. He can stretch the floor. He can play above the rim. He's good on the fast break. He can shoot a 3. He is perfect for a positionless, you know, basketball era, as far as positionless basketball, as far as big man, point guards. You know, it's just give me the best players that can shoot 3s, stretch the floor, and just overall are the best athletes on the floor and on the team. That's pretty much the NBA we're living in today, where position really doesn't matter. And I believe that Jaren Jackson Jr. one day has the potential to be a defensive player of the year candidate. He is so athletic. He moves his feet so quickly on the defensive end. He can block shots. And once he kind of settles down and bulks up just a little bit, I believe he can be a defensive player of the year candidate. I really do. And also, this Grizzlies team has some other good young players. Brandon Clark is 23 years old, giving you 12 points per game. Dylan Brooks, he's 24 years old, giving you 15.7 points per game. Jonas Valanciunas, a guy that they traded for a year ago. He's a very good underrated big man. This Memphis team has some serious parts and some real pieces to compete in the future. Within the next year or two, I believe Memphis is going to be one of the more up and rising, really good teams in the Western Conference. Now, there is a downside to the Memphis Grizzlies basketball team to a certain degree. The problem with Memphis is it's not a free agent destination. So what does that mean? That means it is on the Memphis Grizzlies front office to draft players very well, and to make the necessary trades to make this team a contender. And I just hope that Ja Morant doesn't get the Damian Lillard treatment, because the Portland Trailblazers have been a very good team for a long time. But they haven't made the necessary trades and the necessary moves. Not moves. What am I saying right there? Moves. M-O-V-E-S. Moves. The Portland Trailblazers have not made the necessary moves to keep Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers relevant each year. We see it all the time with these franchises that are kind of small markets that don't really attract free agents. They kind of just settle for what they have. And they say, hey, we hope the players that we drafted develop into great players. And there's something to be said for that. But also, there's something to be said for a team that makes the necessary trade, that goes over the hill to acquire better players. So, I just hope that the Memphis Grizzlies can keep Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. around for a long time and make the necessary moves to keep this team relevant. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. In an age in which superstar players leave the teams that draft them, like LeBron James, like Kevin Durant, like some of these other players, Ja Morant could leave the Grizzlies if they are not providing him with the necessary assets to consistently compete for championships. If I'm Ja Morant, if that's not the case, yeah, I'm thinking about leaving. Because in today's era, it is accepted if you leave a team. No one knocks you for leaving a team. Maybe they knock you from a sense that they say, hey, you're not Michael Jordan. You're not going to stay with the same franchise forever like, Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant and stick it out, even though Kobe Bryant did actually demand a trade from the Lakers when he was in his prime. It didn't go through, but either way, don't be surprised if the Memphis Grizzlies are not up to par as an organization and as a team. Don't be surprised if Ja Morant leaves that team eventually. So I hope Ja Morant stays in Memphis his entire career. I hope he wins a championship for this team. Same with Jaren Jackson Jr. Same with their core group of young players. That's the only pushback I have about Memphis' future. But I like the direction this team is going in. I believe Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. are arguably the most underrated duo in all of basketball. And this team has some serious parts that I like a lot. And I like their head coach as well. So keep your eye on the Memphis Grizzlies, because I do believe the Memphis Grizzlies are on the rise. And by next year and beyond, they could be a legit team in the Western Conference. Keep your eye on Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.